This tutorial presents how to model and calculate a building in the TQS software, introducing its basic functions and resources. To start in the TQS main window called TQS Manager, go to the Building tab and click on New button. Let's name the building as Tutorial and hit OK. Now let's look at the code in use. Select NBR 2023. So let's hit Advance button and select the country as Brazil and confirm by clicking Yes, OK, and OK. Now let's insert the floors. Open the Floors tab. Hit Insert Above button and name it Main, then hit Enter. Let's now adjust the number of floors as 10. Define height as 2.8 meters. And its class to main floor. Now in the Materials tab, let's change the class of the beams, slabs, and columns to C30. Next, we go to the Covers tab, where we will only hit the Design Code Values button and accept the cover values. Next, go to Loads tab and select Win tab. In this example, let's set the coefficients to 1 in the table to make it simple. We can now hit Update and Save buttons in the corner and hit OK. Now, back at the TQS Manager, go to Project Units in the Building tab. Select the International System of Units, confirm, and hit Close. And now let's look to the building tree on the left panel and select Main Item in the Floors node. From here, on the TQS Frame, tab will be open, and we will open the modeler by simply clicking on Structural Modeler button. The Structural Modeler window will open. This is where we will essentially create the building and place elements to it. We can also add 2D or 3D external architectural references to help the modeling. But for this example, we will build the structure using only axes. First, let's set the grid by simply typing grid in our keyboard and click on the first option. As we click, you can see on the messenger area on the bottom of the screen that it is asking for a coordinate. We will type 0, 0. After we can press Enter 4 times, so we create the grid spaced by 1 meter between each dot. We will go to the Annotate tab and click on Reference Axis button. A window will open for us. Make sure Horizontal option is selected and click OK. Now, we will select a point in the grid and click on it. Let's start here and move 1600 centimeters to the right and click on Other Point to set the first axis. For our next horizontal axis, we only need to click under the first line, count to 4 going down the first axis on the grid and click on the point, and press Enter to finish the action. Now for the vertical axis, we will do the same thing as the others. We will go back to Reference Axis button. Now select Vertical option and click OK. Choose the first point to the right from the beginning point of the first horizontal line, and from there go down 1200 centimeters and click on the point. For the other vertical axis, just count 4 dots to the right and click on it. Do this 3 times and press Enter to finish the action. And now we should have a 3x4 grid with 4 meters for each spacing. Next, let's add the columns in the intersection of the axis. Let's go to the Columns tab on the top and click on Current Data button. Go to the Section tab and on the right set 40 to B1 and H1 and click on OK. Now to insert them, go to Create Column and click on one of the intersections of the axes. To add the second column, you can either go back and click again on Create Column or use the right button of the mouse to repeat our last action, which it's quicker. So let's insert the other columns in each of the intersections. If any column is misplaced or the order is wrong, go to Model tab. Click on the 1, 2, 3 button and renumerate the columns of the structure automatically. Now that the columns are set, let's create the beams. Go to the Beams tab and click on Current Data again. Go to Section Load tab and set width with 30 centimeters and depth with 50 centimeters. Let's also set the load, so we click on Distributed Load for All Spans button. And for main or dead load, let's set a 5 kilonewtons per meter. Now to insert the beams, it's necessary to define 2 points. So let's click on Create Beam, then click on the inside of our first column, then click on the inside of the other column and press Enter. To add the other ones, you can use the same right mouse click or go back to the Create Beam and repeat the same process from the first beam. For the vertical beams, start from the bottom columns and go to the top ones. And also remember to use the mouse scroll to zoom in and out, so it's easier to find the right points. Now let's add the slabs. Go to the Slabs tab, click on Current Data. Go to Section Load tab, set width as 10 centimeters. Next, click on Modify button to add load and set 2 kilonewtons per meter. For permanent and principal load and accidental loads, then click OK and OK again. To insert the slab, simply click on the Insert Slab button. Click on the center of the void area and press Enter. Repeat the same action for the other slabs. The structure model is completely created. Let's activate the display of loads. Go to the Model tab and hit Display Parameters button. Choose the Loads tab and click on Enable Disable button and hit OK. Finally, let's see our building in 3D before the calculation. Go to the Model tab, and on the far right, you will see a 3D model visualization button. Click on it. On the opened window, in Initial Plan, select Foundation, and for Final Plan, select Main, and hit OK. Here you can move around the structure and change the display parameters by going to View Criteria button, going over the desired view you want, and click on the white curved arrow. Confirm and click Close. Close the 3D Viewer window and the Structural Modeler window by clicking Yes to save the building. Go to TQS Plans tab and click on Global Calculation button. On the window that will open, we will select Analysis and Reinforcements button and hit OK. The calculation process can take a little while, depending on the size of the building and the computer used. After the calculation is done, this window will show up. You can just close. Now, a quick demonstration of how to check the analysis and design results of the building. First, let's access the Structural Summary Report by clicking on this small button with the lamp icon. This report summarizes some relevant information about the building model, like loads, global stability, quantities and cost, and more. Close the report window and go to Frames, then Columns, and Frames again in the building tree to refresh the items in the central panel. And here we have a report to check the global stability and lateral displacements of the whole building. Also in the Frames node, we have the ULS model item in the central panel that we can double-click and a window will open. Here we can analyze the 3D analytical model in detail for different load cases and combinations. Let's display the bending moments diagram for gravity loads, activate a color gradient, and adjust discretization and size for an easier visualization. Let's also set an example with a wind load case and activate the displacements. Close the window frame viewer, and let's check the design and detailing of all elements of the structure. On the tree of the TQS Manager, select Columns, where we can find a report with detailed information of all of the columns. We can also find drawings of the columns automatically generated by TQS that can be edited if necessary. This is also available for beams, going to the tree, and beams in the main floor node. We find a full report of the beams with graphs and all of the beams drawings. We can also find the drawings for the slabs on main floor node. Let's view the 3D model again, but now with reinforcements. Click on the little building icon on the dark gray tab. Check the initial and final plans. But now let's select beams, columns, slabs, and update. Click OK and OK again. Let's change the background on View Criteria and click on Transparency of the model so now we can see all the reinforcements on the 3D building. We can now close the window. Finally, let's create the plans by going to the tree and selecting the Plans node. And in the Printing tab, click on Plan Editor button. Here, on the top left corner, we will select what we want to put in the plan. Let's select the beams and floors. Main, Beams, click on Design, and OK. Next, we can choose the paper size, a 1 for this case, and click on Automatic so the drawings will be distributed in the plan. We will also add the stamp by going on the Plans tab. Click on Fill, click OK and OK. And there we have the stamp. We can now leave this page by clicking on the small X and saving the stamp. And now we will add the table of rebars on the side by clicking on Extract and closing the window that will show up. And by just zooming in, we will be able to see the table with all the steel summary. We can now close the window and create our PDF file. Go to Print, PDF, select the beams item, click on Add, and OK. And to refresh the building tree, we can just go to Columns, then back to Plans, and there we have the PDF ready to deliver. You can also export the structural model in the TQS to several formats, including files for other BIM softwares. Thank you for watching this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed.